Hello, welcome to TelecomTV. My name is Martin Warwick and I'm talking with Wim Gerrits, who is the CEO and founder of a company called NetYCE out of Weesp in the Netherlands. Wim, welcome. We're going to talk about SDN and NFV. Why is it suddenly so important? What has changed in the network and the appreciation of the network and the technology which makes SDN the matter of moment it is now?
Okay, so I think SDN is actually coming along due to the need to get more automated into the network. I mean, to really on an executive level, how do you cut costs? How do you become more agile and quickly deploy new services? In the past, it has been really down to the domain of different groups, engineering teams, operations, to actually configure the network in a traditional way. Technology-wise, it's become available now. So SDN is already there for some part. I mean, of course, it's been tested and developed ongoingly. It will be getting deployed in the next years. So I think what becomes crucial is to make a transition and to find its transition strategy, how to get from your legacy traditional networking to new types of networks. And also traditional routing switching networks will most likely not disappear for a long time for traditional managed LAN and WAN services. But anyway, so technology is there, the need economically is there, so I think it's a very good thing. Yeah.
What effect is SDN and NFV going to have, do you think, on the wider industry, but in particular on manufacturers, telcos, and above all, service providers?
Well, I think if you look at SDN and NFV, that will be primarily being implemented in the first round into the data center and cloud environments. I think so that's going to be a standalone, quite clear way to also integrate that, actually build a solution around that and implement these functionalities. I think the challenge will become with the traditional OSS model where the network is not only the data center side, it crosses across enterprise services with networks in the field, in the closets, in the LAN and the WAN. So and that's a totally different ball game. And there, companies need to prepare and think about a transition strategy. And I believe that's where NetYCE has the solution to, tie into the OSS layer, streamline, automate traditional routing switching networks, and bridge to the new solutions that are available for these data center SDN type networks. And so for every use case, you have to think about what is the right approach. If you're going from scratch with a data center, there are good solutions there. If you want to actually build it into and transition to new technologies, I think companies like NetYCE can offer you a very well way forward doing that.
Wim, given that network automation is already possible or partially possible and has been for a long time, what is the difference now? I mean, how is this transition between what exists presently and SDN going to be affected?
Absolutely. I mean, what people, I'm glad that SDN is taking on the awareness of the market that network automation is actually possible or going to be possible. I'm here to say that network automation has been possible for a long time. I mean, we are a spin-off company from a large banking group that actually implemented network automation with our system 12, 13 years ago. So Rabobank, they automated networks with all the functionality that SDN is promising. We've done this for the last 12 years. So it can be done multi-vendor, can be done. You just need the right way to actually have your control of your processes and on the abstraction of your services and of your networks in an application. So, but I would say I've seen about 100 companies in the last 2 and 3 years. 20% have gone to that point to either build something themselves, but 80% is actually all traditional operational management. So engineers really making changes on the configs, operators doing the same with troubleshooting. There's a multitude of different people in the live network making changes. We've taken an approach from a top-down approach, model your designs and streamline the different teams and people in one application that will actually have single interface to your devices. So you have control, you can orchestrate, you can do it. So it can be done already. And so we're here to actually lift on the awareness in the market of SDN. And I'm happy for that. But I'm also here to say that, you have to think about the existing networks as well, because that's where the costs are in terms of TCO. And if you're going to add SDN with a new team, let's say engineering team running the SDN network, you have even more cost. So you need to combine those two and to have a very efficient organization to run both and transition to the long run.
You've been talking about engineers and them doing the nuts and bolts work in SDN and NFV, but appreciation of both those subjects has suddenly increased. Is that because there's more awareness in other offices in the C-suite, the CEOs, the CMOs, etc.? This change and move over from engineering to a greater perception of the benefits is important. Is that what you see happening?
Absolutely, and this is very recent. I mean, we've been speaking on network automation events for the last 3 years. I see a really, and this SDN World event is actually showing this. Executive people are here from R&D, but also from a management perspective. They are looking at this as a strategic choice. I'm dealing with companies like KPN and the likes. They have formed in the last year program committees to consider, the new technologies and to find the strategies to do it. So yes, I think that, as I said earlier, there's an absolute need to become more cost-effective and more agile as a provider, and the services that go along with that. So it's a necessity. Otherwise, they will be, in the long run, out of the business that they're in. So I'm happy to see that, because network automation is not about tools, it's not about technology. It's really, in the end, about a top-down management view on how do we enforce the culture and the processes between the teams to work together in this new way of operating. If that's not there, if there's no commitment from the top management, the projects will fail on the technology side and on the implementation of the tools to go with it.
Wim Gerrits, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.